everybody. Tonight's episode of the Nightshift, it's just going to be a little different. There's no deep dive on one movie. There's no scene-by-scene breakdown tonight. This is something that I wanted to do for a while. These are the movies that I've rewatched the most over the last 25 years. Not the best movies that were ever made, not the most important movies, just the ones that I keep going back to. And honestly, the ones that I keep coming back to, they matter more to me than the best of list, because rewatching it's a behavior, it's honesty, it's about who you are, the things that you enjoy, or maybe the people around you enjoy. It's what you put on when you're tired, when you've had a long day, when you want something that just works, when your partner wants something that you can both watch, and when you're around your buddies, put something on that everybody can get behind. This list says probably more about me than it does about the cinema, and that's kind of the point. But a couple of quick housekeeping things before we get into it. If you're new here, this is the Nightshift podcast. It's the show where we usually stay up a little too late talking about the movies that stuck with us. Not really awards bait. It's definitely not film school homework. These are just movies that keep finding their way back into our lives, and most of them are going to be sometime in the last 30, 35 years. Every now and again, we might have something slip in there. The list is long. We have about 300 of them right now on the to-do list, and we've gotten through maybe 30 of them. So still quite a ways to go. But suggestions are always welcome, so feel free to send those in whenever you get a chance. You can listen to us now wherever you get podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're also now on Amazon Music, on Deezer, and on iHeartRadio. So if you're enjoying the show, subscribing really does help. It lets the show grow and helps more people find it. And we're obviously super grateful for any interest that we get on it. All right. Before we get into the actual list of our top 25 in the last 25 years that have been on, I keep saying are. This is going to be a weird solo pod for me. But before we get into that list, I want to start with the movies that almost made it. These are our honorable mentions, okay? These are movies that I love, movies that I quote, movies that I'll stop on if they're already on. They're not the ones that I consistently seek out. A lot of them are period pieces, not in terms of the makeup of the movie, but the period that they were made and on in my life. And if one of your favorites is in here, don't panic. This is no disrespect to it. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie or anything like that. Some of these that are on my top 25 are straight up bad movies. I just enjoy watching them. So this is the line between a great movie and I've seen this 20 times. I mean, there's just some movies that are awesome that you really don't need to watch more than a handful of times. And this list is not that. So hopefully that clears the runway for you, gives you a little bit of context on what's about to come. And now we can get in to the actual list here. So honorable mentions. These are just going to be rapid fire. These are movies that almost made the top 25 list for us. This is, a lot of these are like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday night movie, or, it's not like I'm dropping everything to watch this, but if it's on and I don't have anything to do, absolutely. Comfort watch, whatever it is. And they're in no particular order whatsoever, so I'm going to preface it with that. They're just how they came to my head. 40-Year-Old Virgin. Steve Carell, fantastic movie. Comedy, landmark. Still works scene to scene, but I revisit parts of it more than I do any kind of full rewatch of that. And I think you'll find that on a lot of these, but great movie. Had a ton of fun with that one when that one came out. Another one on that list, Black Panther, massive cultural moment and incredible first watch. I admire it more than I casually throw it on. It's not one that I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm in the mood for Black Panther. Let's put this on. But it's a great movie, and I love Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. Just incredible. And I never grew up knowing anything about Black Panther, so I'm fascinated by the story. Michael B. Jordan's on something. I'm gonna watch it. And that's just a fun one. It's a fun recent one. I'm not really into all the Avengers stuff or the Marvel things, but I will periodically rewatch, and that's my favorite one of the bunch. Lord of the Rings. Now, you can say this for any of these movies, any of the 3 in the franchise or the 3 prequels that popped up in The Hobbit, these are an all-time achievement, man. These are a freaking time commitment, which is part of the reason these are not on the list. They are great movies. My wife and I are like closet nerds, and so watching those movies is one of the few things we could watch together that includes a lot of action. She's not really into the action stuff in the same way that me and my family and my friends are. So it's one of the few movies that we can watch together and literally pick any of them. She'll fall asleep in the first 20 minutes, but they are excellent. Next one. Love this movie. This is a better movie. It should be on anybody's top 25 list. It's just not going to be on my top 25 most rewatched movies because there's a twist or two in there. Once you kind of know the twist, it doesn't make it quite as fun to rewatch, but it's an excellent movie. The Prestige. Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale. If those 2 guys are in a movie, I'm just going to watch. If they're on a screen together, count me the fuck in. Michael Caine, thickest British accent I can think of. One of the thickest British accent. The dude is watchable. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I love that movie. The premise is awesome. It's got great acting. It's brilliant, layered. It demands your focus, though. It's not exactly a comfort watch. That's one that put the damn phone away, sit down, buckle in. Next one. Didn't make the list. This guy's also on my all-time actors list. Russell Crowe and The Gladiator. Now, Gladiator is iconic. It's emotional. It's unforgettable. One of the best movies ever made. But when I'm rewatching, I usually want something a little bit lighter, a little faster. That's an epic, right? It's an epic. I'm going to contradict myself on this take in a little bit, but trust me, I love this movie. It's one of the best ever made. It's fantastic. I just can't put it on my top 25 most rewatched list. It's too damn long for that. Another one, long but awesome. Another Russell Crowe movie. And my man Denzel is in this movie. American Gangster. Now, rock solid performances. Great vibe. There's a couple of lulls in there where action kind of slows a little bit or some things kind of dip. I'm a huge fan of period pieces, especially stuff in the 70s and 60s. Like, I like that era. Kind of, anytime I can go back in time and feel like I'm living how my parents lived, it does something to me to be able to experience their experience. I just love that. This is definitely more of a sit and watch than throw it on one. All right. Another one, a little bit more recent, Zero Dark 30. It's really intense. It's really gripping. Phenomenal movie. Great acting. Jessica Chastain kicks ass in this. It's just not something that I'm going to revisit casually. And that's probably the biggest hang-up that I could say about it. Another one that didn't make the list but was on all the time. Definitely at this time in my life movie when it came out, and it was massive. Hangover. The first watch was fucking nuclear. Rewatches are really fun, but that shock factor that you have the very first time, which is really the secret sauce of that movie, and any of the preceding movies sequential movies after that with the Hangover 2, Hangover 3, whatever the hell else they come up with. It loses its value each time. It's definitely of a time. First time you watch that, there's really not a feeling like it. You had to be there. Another one, ridiculous in the best way. Stupid. I love stupid movies. Don't get me wrong. But it's not one that, again, I'm going out of my way, but I'm probably not going to change a channel if it's on. And it's one that you can jump in anywhere. Beer Fest. Okay. Beer Fest is pure dumb fun energy. This was on all the time at any dude's house between the ages of 13 and 20, 21. It's just a fun one for my generation. Anybody that's in their mid to late 30s right now knows that movie. They know all the stupid lines. They know all the characters. It's, it was on in everybody's house. Another one that I love, The Bourne Identity. Now, this is really a smart movie. It's grounded. It's pretty influential. This is the first time I ever saw Matt Damon as a badass or capable of something, of that ilk. And you know this based on our Nightshift Rolodex here. We love a good revenge movie. We love action movies. We love one-man army movies. That's been like the bulk of our reviews so far. Bourne Identity is based on a Robert Ludlum book, and I remember this movie because it came out in the early 2000s, but it's one of these movies that brought me closer to Dad, just because we loved watching these kinds of movies. Any action, vengeful type movie we were always fans of growing up, but it was a great way for me and my brothers to connect with my dad, just because we all fancy the same thing. We all like to pretend we're the hero in the movie with all the odds stacked against us, and we still find a way. But I'm going to reach for this movie not quite as much as some of the other ones, especially the later ones. I just, there's a couple of things that don't really age that well. Most of it's like technological pieces to it, but incredible fight scenes and choreography, and it's a solid watch, man. Another one, super recent movie. This one might have actually saved movies. Top Gun Maverick. Now, I've seen Top Gun countless times. Solid movie. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a classic. It's not as fun of a watch as Top Gun Maverick. I cannot tell you how into Jennifer Connelly this movie makes me. I mean, my God, this woman is incredible. Like a fine wine is an understatement. I'll just put it that way. Cruise, he definitely has aged, but hard to fucking tell. If I look like that at his age, I mean, guys, I might be on wife number 3, 4, 5 by that point, because it's going to be too much for me to turn away. It is. I'm sorry. I'm just a man. Love that movie. It's good. Plus, you get Glenn Powell, you get Miles Teller, you get you just get a lot of these guys that it's almost a passing of the baton in a way to the next generation of people that can act in movies like that. But it's nostalgic. It came at the right time when we thought the movie theater experience was dead. There was really no new content going on with the AI evolution, with the writer's strike and all the crap at the same time. So thank you to Tom Cruise. Thank you to the people that made Top Gun Maverick. You're not in my top 25 rewatched list yet because we haven't had enough time together, but I do recognize the movie's awesome. Again, one of the very few action movies my wife and I can get behind and watch together before she falls asleep 15 minutes into it. Another classic movie, early 2000s. One of my brothers, Colin, he's been on the podcast countless times, cannot get enough of this movie. Catch Me If You Can. Effortlessly watchable, very charming. This is, I'm not going to say early DiCaprio, but it's around the time he's done Titanic, so he's still got that. I mean, Leo hasn't aged much. He still has kind of a baby face even nowadays, but this is one that between him, Amy Adams, Tom Hanks. I've said this before on the podcast. I'm not a huge Tom Hanks guy. Real, recognize is real, my friends. Okay. The guy's a great actor. That's a great movie. Awesome plot. Plus, we got Christopher Walken in that one playing the dad. That's a fun movie. It's barely edged out by some of the others that just hit me a little bit harder on here that are have less lull points, and you'll notice that as a theme. A couple of chick flicks here, guys. Mean Girls. Mean Girls, honorable mention, did not make the list. Seen it a ton. Love it. It's got great one-liners, still used today. I actually have a group chat with some of my friends who I adore. I'm not going to out them, but I will say the name of the group chat is The Burn Book, and it's fantastic. I mean, just great movie. This is my introduction to my queen, Rachel McAdams, and she's in my next one too. The Notebook. Now, I got to tell you, I could not have avoided this movie harder as if it were the plague. I thought, no fucking chance I am going to sit here and watch this movie, give this movie any of my time. I won't do it. But that's what a young, dumb teenage kid is going to say, who wants to put off this masculine vibe, this alpha energy. I'm telling you right now, it's a great freaking movie. Now, I don't go out of my way to watch movies like this. I can't remember the first time that I watched it. It was later than I should have, if we're being honest. It was probably a combination of every single chick falling in love with Ryan Gosling at a time when I was, jealous, a hater. Gosling has grown on me immensely. He's definitely in my top 10 most rewatchable actors. I think he's incredibly charming, witty, funny, all the above. A lot of the same stuff I've said about Efron, just on a much better acting tier. I love the guy. And this is really a movie about emotional damage in maybe the best way. It's super heartwarming. I hate admitting that because, it just is what it is. I love this damn movie, though. It's a great one. I'm just not watching it all the time. I like to keep my testosterone levels a little bit higher than what this movie will bring them down to, but it's heartwarming, something I might toss on every couple years. Another one, National Treasure. Nicolas Cage, we found the Declaration of Independence. This movie's way more fun than it had any right to be, and y'all freaking know it. Do not try to pretend that you didn't like this movie. This might be my introduction to Diane Kruger, not knowing it was Diane Kruger at the time. Definitely my introduction to Jon Voight. I had watched Mission Impossible, but didn't really register who he was at that time. National Treasure, fun watch, great. Now we're going to get into some of the stuff that was definitely a little harder, let's say. The Sitter. Now this one's less known, but this is peak Jonah Hill. He is fantastic in this. He's already had Superbad and all these other things behind him. This is a very underrated movie. Tons of chaos. It works when it's on. I don't actively seek it out, but if it's on, I'm not changing it. It is great for a laugh. Obviously, my kids can't be in the room for it. It's got to be a late night, like I'm by myself type of movie. The same goes for Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Stupid comedy. It's wild. It's dumb. It's fearless. Fantastic moments. This is definitely one that is like, if you're in high school or college at the time that this movie comes out, it is peak late night movie, laughing your ass off, drinking beers with your buddies type of deal. It's fucking hysterical. So many stupid one-liners. Rob Corddry, shout out. Other ones that are probably a little bit more known, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. One of the best modern rom-coms. Incredible scenes. Just short of elite rewatch tier for me. I think it's probably a bit too long. I like Jason Segel. Russell Brand's good in it. Love Kristen Bell. Mila Kunis, probably the cutest I've ever seen anybody in a movie. In this movie, Jonah Hill, another cameo. You'll notice a theme here. Great movie, just not enough to get into our top 25 most watched. I think it's probably too long for that. Another one, Dodgeball. Insanely quotable. This is like peak high school time frame. Tend to revisit the jokes more than the whole movie. And that's one of the reasons that it didn't make the top 25 list. Another one around that same time that I don't think a lot of people know of. I think there might be a little sleeper crowd on this one. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. A lot of gay jokes in there that did not age very well. But Sandler, Kevin James, quirky cameos from people like Ving Rhames. I mean, it's a funny movie, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a funny movie. Jessica Biel, whoa, golly, girl. Just fun. It's a fun one. And another one didn't make the list. Another honestly underrated movie, way better than it was expected to be. And I'm a huge fan of Jason Bateman. Game Night. It comes on in our house probably once or twice a year. Obviously, you know how I feel about Rachel McAdams. So if she's on something, I'm gonna watch it. My wife and I both love Jason Bateman. He's freaking funny, dude. Snarky, sarcastic, witty, quick. It's sharp. This is funny. It feels basically a tier below core staples, but what a fun watch, man. Another one that's definitely more of a I'm alone by myself late at night is Book of Eli. Book of Eli, you know the twist. You don't care. It's just incredible action. It's Denzel. Might be his best choreography that he's got in a movie. You got another Mila Kunis sighting in this one. Gary Oldman, dude, is just a legend. So those are my ones that did not make our top 25 list. I apologize for offending anybody so far. Again, these were on in our house a lot at different stages in the last 25 years. If you're mad, I'm sorry, but it's a good thing. We're going to get into the top 25 movies next. All right. So you guys know the setup, right? You know the premise. If this is on TV, just pops on while I'm scrolling, it's on one of the streaming channels, I'm not changing the channel. These are movies where I don't need the setup. I've seen them so many times. I don't need the ending. I can jump in anywhere, and I'm good. Number 25, Interstellar. You have McConaughey during the McConaissance. Sign me up. Okay. We have Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, Michael Caine, Casey Affleck. Sneaky amount of good movies he's in. He might be in more good movies than Ben. Just going to say that. You have a Christopher Nolan movie. I'm going to be a sucker for it. I just think the way that he films and directs things is so unique. You recognize his films every single time that they're on. Most of them hit. It's just full of great performances, and I don't care how believable it is. I really don't, because it's engaging. All right. This movie is on this list because it hits me harder every time I rewatch it, because each time I watch it, I feel like I have another child. I have something else that's happened in my family life. And each time it starts to mean something a little bit more. It's not something that I rewatch casually all the time, but I've seen it so many times that when I do, it lands deeper every single time. The meaning of time starts to matter more. I mean, it just grows on me every time instead of fading away, where I think a lot of things that I had, when I was running through this exercise in my head, I kept thinking about, damn, you know, I love this movie, but I haven't watched it in ages, or it was really something that was on maybe like 100 times in 2005 to 2010, but I haven't watched it since then, and it doesn't age well, and it doesn't resonate with me anymore. So there's certainly some of them like that. And then there's other ones that grow on you as it goes, and it's because it just speaks to you and where your life stage is at. And for me, Interstellar meets that category. Number 24, definitely a period piece, but an introduction as well. 300. 300, Gerard Butler, Lena Headey. This is easily the only Zack Snyder film that's going to be on this list. It's pure vibes. There is no thinking required. Forget about it. It's not subtle. It's just endlessly watchable. Now, this is something that I watched way more in the 2000s than I've watched in the 20s, but this is your introduction to Gerard Butler, to a bunch of Jack dudes. This might be one of the first movies that Cersei Lannister is in. I don't know why I gave her an Irish accent there, but it's something that is a staple, man. We used to watch this before games all the time. Football, lacrosse, doesn't matter. This is Sparta, bro. We were breaking huddles with that shit. Like, God, it's not one that I'm going to get any work done. There's some movies that like you can put on that are going to be like, all right, I'll get some work done and just have something on in the background. And you've seen those movies a bunch. This is not that. It's going to take your attention away because the action scenes are wild, but it's great. Another one might surprise some of you. Again, I kind of hinted a little bit of this. I'm a bit of a nerd. Closet nerd. All right. You look at my face. My face generally says, get away from me. Don't talk to me. For those of you that are on the video, if you're on the audio, don't worry about it. 23. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. You know the main players, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Weasley, Rupert Grint. You know all these guys, all right? Some people are sick of the Harry Potters. Guess what? Not me. I can't get enough of them. The reason that I like the fifth one, I didn't put any other ones on this list, although I've seen all of them many times. This is the first one that gets really dark. It's not the angriest of the Potters, but it's close. It is more rewatchable than I think Rotten Tomatoes or any of these other things like to give it. And it's because this is really the first time in these movies where the characters stop being kids and they start to escalate into young adults. And there's higher stakes than just something's happening at the school. I read all these books. I read them multiple times. They're some of the greatest pieces of literature in certainly modern history. I will argue all of history. Shout out J.K. Rowling, fantastic, best author of our time. But I think what sets this one apart from some of the other ones, in addition to the stuff that I just said, for me, it's when Voldemort comes back and nobody believes that it's real and that it's happening. You start getting alliances. Shit's going down and you see the armies building on both sides. It's not the climax of the series, obviously, but this is the beginning of the battle where people are amassing forces. And I love that phase of it because it gives you anticipation. It's like if the Cleveland Cavaliers in 16 and the Warriors in 2016 get together and nobody's injured and it's just, both sides going at it. That's what I love about it. So it's a comfort watch. It's one of the funnest stories of our time. So it's on my list for that reason. Number 22. This is an underdog. It's a stupid movie, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've seen it so many freaking times and it makes me laugh harder every time. The Watch. Now, if you're not familiar with The Watch, this is a Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill vehicle. This is a sneaky cable movie MVP. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but this movie is funny as shit. It has so many moments that will just make you laugh. If you're by yourself, if you're with others, it's aged pretty well. I like dumb movies. This is like a perfect half paying attention rewatch. I highly recommend it to anybody that has not seen it. Google The Watch with Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and you will, if you don't laugh at this, then we're probably not going to be friends anyways. You take yourself too seriously. The movie's fucking hysterical. 21, a more known comedy. There's going to be a lot more comedies in here than I originally anticipated. But 21 is Horrible Bosses. Okay. Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, at the peak of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Jason Sudeikis at his peak before Ted Lasso. This is probably the hottest he was as a comedian. Jennifer Aniston in a role that we've never seen her in before and sexy as hell. This movie will get your freaking horns on, so brace yourselves. Colin Farrell, the funniest I've ever seen Colin Farrell. Kevin Spacey just being Kevin Spacey, classic. This is relatable rage comedy. It is the premise that really just never stops being funny because bad bosses never stop existing. There's always going to be assholes out there. Jamie Foxx with an awesome cameo in this. So funny. It's just easy laughs. There's really not any effort that you have to put into this. You can jump in at just about any time and laugh your ass off. An important note here before we get to, 20. I mentioned comedies. Part of what makes something rewatchable in my house is my wife and I have been together for the last 15 years. So a lot of this stuff is going to be skewed. It's, can we watch a movie together and sit on the couch and do it? She's not going to be into anything horror, so forget that. That's out. I'm not going to be into romance unless there's a comic element into it, so that's out. Dramas, maybe, but usually we're going to save the dramas and a lot of the actions for me solo. If we're going to watch something together, we both like to laugh. We like to turn our brain off. It's, you know, we got 3 kids. Life's hard. Sometimes you just need the easy laugh, something that you can both get behind, something that is something you guys can quote internally and you have your own little inside jokes with it. Horrible Bosses, definitely one of those that we have watched countless times together, which makes it something that resonates with me. So I've seen it a bunch of times with friends too. Came out at the right time, 2012, fun sequel, not as good as the first, but they rarely are. Now, let's get into the next 5, okay? Actually, before we do that, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with 20 to 16. Okay, and we're back, baby. Listen, we're going to start with number 20. This one, it's a little bit earlier on in the 25-year period that we're covering this. Minority Report. This is a movie I remember watching with my dad. Again, you notice that there's a theme here. I like watching movies with my dad. We have very similar movie taste. It is Tom Cruise and Colin Farrell at probably their, well, I'm not even going to say peak. I think Colin Farrell is on the rise at this point, but like a known entity for sure. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. I mean, he's been in our lives for way too freaking long. He's just instantly watchable. There is never going to be a movie he's not sprinting in like a maniac. This fits that. I think I really like the storyline on this. It's pretty high concept about pre-crime and catching people that are gonna commit crimes before they actually do. I kind of like that. There's gonna be a lot of characters in here too. If you watched a ton of 2000s movies or television, you're gonna recognize a lot of the characters in here. It's smart without being exhausting. It's a fun movie because there's pretty consistent action. It makes you think a little bit, but you can definitely lock into 30 minutes of this movie and get it. This is a great watch. It's a fun one. Number 19, a little bit more modern than Minority Report, Inglourious Bastards. We've actually covered this one on the Nightshift pod before. We will, I'm sure at some point, probably end up redoing that cast just because it's such a fun freaking movie and you can get so many different vantage points from it. But this is Brad Pitt, Christoph Waltz, Diane Kruger. You get Melanie Laurent, who is definitely lesser known here in America, but she plays one of the heroes in the movie. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie, which we have a ton of. Basically all of his are on our list of movies to talk about on this podcast. But this is probably his one that resonates with my friend group the most of all of his, even though it's not his best one. I don't think anybody is going to argue it's his best one, but it came at the right time. I think our demographic is super fascinated, even to this day, with World War II and basically the outcomes of it, the storylines within it, what led up to that point in history, different takes on it from different vantage points. That's an element to that that's always going to be super watchable, and one of the reasons it's on so often in my house. Again, not with the kids around. There are scenes that really seek you out, and there's really only, 7 scenes, I think, in that entire movie, but it's dialogue heavy, but it's electric. And you would think with a movie that's only got that many scenes and it's super, talk heavy, that it would have lull points, but it doesn't. They build up the tension so fucking well in this movie. It just, you cannot take your eyes off. It's also got one of the best introductions to an actor that we've had in Christoph Waltz. It is one of the best villains in movie history with his character, the Jew Hunter. Rewatchability really comes from the tension, not necessarily the action. There's definitely some action pieces that you'll always remember, but it's Pitt's accent, and it's the different storylines with each character. Culturally, everybody knows this movie. It's been on so many damn times. I love it. It's something that we could watch on the team bus heading up to different games or heading down to different games, or it's something that we could watch in our dorm rooms. It's something that we could watch with our buddies, our roommates at the house. It's something you could watch with your buddies at not really a party. It's not really a party kind of movie, but it's something you can watch with people when there's nothing else on. You got nothing else to do, and you want something fun that is going to make you think a little bit like, oh man, what if this happened? Great movie, great Tarantino movie. Number 18. This is the one that I haven't mentioned it, but I mentioned contradicting myself because it's a long movie, and usually long movies are not rewatchable for us. And this movie is not well received, but I don't give a shit. Troy. All right. This is Pitt, Eric Bana, Orlando Bloom in the softest, most beta character I've ever seen in my life. Diane Kruger, one of the hottest people I've ever seen in my life in this movie, playing Helen of Troy. This is actually the introduction to Garrett Hedlund. Like, it's a long, epic movie. It is mythic in a lot of ways. I think you don't really need to watch the whole thing. You can just watch the battles and the speeches, and you'll know what the movie is. It is peak early 2000s epic energy. And around that time, you probably wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me now, but at some point I was athletic. You are, let's see, I was in high school when this comes out, and I remember being fascinated with Achilles as a young man, and an athletic one at that. I think you were just fascinated at a young age by the greatest warriors to ever live. So when there's a story about one and how he came to be, and you get to watch the battles, it's just not something I'm going to take my eyes off of. So that one's less about it's really more about the battles than anything else, if I'm being honest with you. I would not exactly choreograph those battles, but I'm telling you right now, I would mimic some of the things on the field that Brad Pitt would do, in the way that he moved. I've just never seen anybody move in that way. I've never seen somebody produce a character that has, the agility and the confidence that character has for that time period, and to be able to portray that on screen the way that he did. It's just one of my favorite characters I've ever seen in a movie. His hair is freaking outrageous in it, again, of a time. So I will never not watch that movie if it is on. It's the Brad Pitt element to it, and it's him killing Hector, how he does it, what he does afterwards. There's just so many different elements to that are like, God, gets you pumped. I realize that it's not historically accurate and all this other crap. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Number 17. I don't know if this one honestly should be on this list because it came out in 2000, and I guess technically it's a year late to be on this list, but I don't give a shit. I'm throwing it in there anyways, okay? If I got to swap it out later retroactively, I'll do it, but we've done this one on the podcast before. The Patriot. This is Mel Gibson at Mel Gibson height. This is Heath Ledger before he's Heath Ledger. It's Chris Cooper in there, who I don't think a lot of people know is Chris Cooper, but you'll notice him if you've seen a bunch of movies. You'll be like, oh, that guy. Yeah. Jason Isaacs is easily, this is the second movie that he's in on this list. He is one of the Mount Rushmore villains. There's just no other way to put it. This guy is so good at playing evil that it is just, when you have a character like that, I am going to be so invested in the character that is set to destroy him, I can't look away. Now, Patriot comes out in 2000. I'm not quite in high school yet. I'm close. And this is, again, another movie I would watch with my dad. And my dad in this movie is confident he's Mel Gibson. And I can tell you, as a 12-year-old, I'm confident he is as well. And that if anything were to ever happen to any of his children, he is going to go Melly on these people. It's a revenge tale. It is something that goes beyond just vengeance, though. And it's a historical piece. No, it's not accurate. Again, don't care. I really don't. It's, for me, at least once a year, I will watch it. Heath is engaging in it. I always resonated with his character as being the oldest son of an old warrior. And I just think that it's a story that sticks with me because of my relationship with my dad and watching that movie countless times growing up together, him and I, and just identifying with those characters. That's one of the reasons. Number 16, a lesser known movie, but also in that earlier high school period. And another movie I used to watch with my dad all the time. And guess what? It's not an action movie. It's not a movie that somebody's killing a bunch of dudes. It's called Just Friends. This is early Ryan Gosling. This is early Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris. Shout out Baltimore, Anna Faris. It is an underrated Christmas rewatch. It is something that I absolutely am positive will be on this podcast at some point. Funny ass storyline, very clever. Dinkelman, funny ass. There's a character in it that, for those that haven't seen that movie, it's a guy that was a fat loser in high school. Always had a crush on the girl next door. She was way too pretty, way too popular for him, but they were still good buddies. He goes away, has a complete life makeover and goes from fat loser to like god bod hottie who has this amazing job, and he's a rich guy now. And then he goes back home for the holidays and he runs into her. So classic, I don't know. It's like a Hallmark movie meets Mean Girls is kind of what this is. And Amy Smart is just such a perfect, like, girl next door kind of pretty. Like, she's gorgeous, man. But she just really has that energy that fits really well. Reynolds plays snarky, guy who is very witty and sarcastic and all that stuff, but you can see him falling back into old patterns, and some old memories surface, some old enemies surface, and how he combats those is so funny. His relationship with his mother is freaking hysterical. It's such a comfort comedy that has jokes that still hit. It is the beginning of, actually, you know what? Waiting comes out before this one, I think. But this is Ryan Reynolds unleashed. He's doing the Ryan Reynolds stuff, but an incredible movie. Totally worth it to watch with a girlfriend, spouse, whoever. It's a fun one. It's aged pretty damn well for being a 20-year-old movie. All right. Now we're into the top 15, guys. These are mood movies. Some of these we've done on the podcast. Some of them they're all set to be on the podcast at some point, but you got to be in the mood to watch them for sure. But when you're in that mood, you're not going to turn them off. Number 15, The Departed. We've done this one. The cast is sensational. Leo, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Vera Farmiga, Anthony Anderson. Like, dude, it's a ridiculous list. Alec Baldwin, how could I forget? And it's got elite pacing. There's no real dead air, which is rare for a Scorsese. His tend to drag on for a while, but with the storyline, the characters, and the acting, you're engaged from start to finish. And it has so many sneaky, funny dudes in this movie, including two that I mentioned, Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, funniest fucking role plays I've ever seen on screen. I will watch it for those guys every single time. They genuinely make me laugh out loud. Even when you know everything in this movie, it still moves and it doesn't really get old. It's one of the rare prestige films that rewatches like an action movie. And you cannot say that about those films. Number 14. I would say this movie I saw 50 times in the first 5 years that it came out. And then I've watched it pretty consistently once a year since then. So I would say, a ton of times. It is endlessly quotable. Number 14, Wedding Crashers. This one will, of course, be on the pod. Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn doing absolutely everything Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn do. I mean, they're a dynamic duo. They play off each other so well. Their chemistry is fantastic. I could watch those two guys do anything together. They are hysterical. The Rachel McAdams piece of this never gets old. It's one of my favorite characters in any movie. Like, would I marry this character? You're fucking A right. I would. Okay. She is unbelievable. Christopher Walken, and probably the most tame that he's ever been in a movie, and I loved it. Isla Fisher, Will Ferrell, unhinged as usual. It does definitely have some lull points. There is some stuff in there that is not like, I don't know. It does drag at pieces of it, but it makes up for it, not just with the main cast and their banter, but between Todd, between Zach, probably our first Bradley Cooper experience. It's just got so many little things that make up for it. The grandmother in there, it's unbelievable the way that they put it all together. And plus, the scenes, the quotes, the chemistry, it's all timeless, but it means a little bit more because a lot of it is shot in St. Michael's in Maryland. And obviously, this is a Maryland podcast, and we shout out our people that are Marylanders and our sets and all that stuff. So actually, they did a lot of the stuff in Into the Perry Cabin. It's a social rewatch. It's better with people around. You guys can all laugh together. It doesn't require a sequel. It doesn't require a prequel. It is a perfect standalone. It's something that you could put on really at any point. People will know the movie. You will laugh together, quote it together. It's, what can I say, man? It's a great one. Number 13. Safe to say this one is not one that my wife and I will be watching together. The Equalizer. Now, The Equalizer. Is it one of the greatest movies of all time? No. Stop. It's not an Oscar movie. But I'm telling you right now, it's been on in my house at least 100 times. It is Denzel. You're going to recognize some other characters in it. David Harbour, chief among them, as a Stranger Things cast member. There's definitely characters in there. You'd be like, oh yeah, I know that person, or I know that person. But there is not a staple in there other than Denzel. It is calm competence that is endlessly rewatchable. You don't really need any surprises with it. You want the inevitability. It has a perfect buildup of, wow, I know something's different about this cat, but I got to see how he gets to that point. And then you see him get to that point and you can't look away. Denzel is incredible. I will watch anything that he is in. I'm actually shocked that I didn't put Out of Time on this list, or I didn't put there's goddamn, there's probably half a dozen Denzel movies that I didn't put on this list that I've seen so many damn times. But his charm has nothing to do with just his words, just his looks. He has aura that I cannot put into words that will draw me in no matter what the world he's in is doing. Book of Eli, you name it. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, I'm going to watch this guy. He just has a presence about him that almost nobody else on the planet has. And that is a one-man army. Denzel kills 1,000 guys type of movie. But it's great. I could watch those anytime. Number 12, another Denzel. This one is definitely a little bit more of a thinker. It's got plenty of action in it, but it's not an action movie. It is definitely more of a drama. It is The Inside Man. Denzel, Clive Owen, Jodie Foster, directed by Spike Lee. This might be the only Spike movie on this list. It's a very New York movie. It is smart without being smug, which I think a lot of these movies that are smart movies try to be too fucking smart and make you feel stupid if you can't figure it out. Like, all right, forget about it. Inception being one of them. And like I said, I love Nolan, but I mean, what are we doing here? The dialogue is awesome. The structure is great. It's got an awesome payoff. It is a rewatch with me and my friends because it's a clean movie. It has a clear beginning, a clear problem, a clear ending, and a resolution that you start seeing unfold along the way. Just enjoy it. It's the best that Clive Owen has ever been in a movie for me, and I am begging him to make more movies like that, where he can play a character like that, because I just find him endlessly fascinating if he can do that. Number 11, we've done that. This might be actually our most impressive podcast yet by the numbers. It's got well over tens of thousands of views and listens to it, which is shocking compared to some of the other numbers that we've put up. Taken. What can I say, guys? Taken, Liam Neeson, Maggie Grace trying her damnedest to win this movie for us. I'm just interested in this. Pure efficiency, short runtime. It knows exactly what it is. You, as the audience, know exactly why it works, and it never stops working. Plus, it's our introduction to old guys kicking ass, and it looks fucking believable. This dude is slap chopping 1,000 guys and still coming out on top. He's sniping people with a fucking handgun from hundreds of yards away, and he is full on raging through Europe, just as without a care in the world. And some of the things that he does in this movie are just incredible. Like, oh, dang, that's really smart. So it makes you think as the audience, if I'm ever in this situation, oh, okay, oh, yeah, that's really clever. I just make sure that that's in the fucking mind bank. It won't be, but it's one of the most influential rewatchable action films ever. It spawned an entire genre of stuff after it that mimics this old guy kicking ass stuff, Jerry action, if you will. But what a fun movie. I mean, honest to God, what a fun movie. Terrible what happens in it, but to see the retribution and the revenge along the way, oh God, just I'm a sucker for it. Fills up my cup. All right. We'll take a quick break here. We'll stop for a second before we get into our top 10. We'll be right back. All right. And we're back, baby. Okay. Now we're going to get into the top 10. These were movies. They're just built differently. All right. They don't really slow down. You can drop in anywhere. You're immediately locked in, at least for me. Every scene is doing something. There's a purpose to it. Number 10. Yeah, we've done this one on the pod before. Man on Fire. I already told you with Equalizer, I'm Denzel, I'm fucking in. I don't care what he's doing, I'm in. You put him killing a bunch of guys, I'm definitely in. You put him killing a bunch of guys that kidnapped one of the sweetest child actors I've ever seen in Dakota Fanning. I can't take my eyes off it. It is emotionally brutal with a purpose. It is a movie that hurts, but in a way that you're going to sign up for because you want to feel the retribution. Rewatching this also definitely says something about where you're at in your life. I'm not going to lie, but this has been on since it came out in the Hull house. This is something that I will watch with my dad and my brothers. This is something that I'll watch with my buddies. It's not something I'm watching with my wife, although she did catch me watching it 2 nights ago. It is an awesome movie. R.I.P. Tony Scott did a great job with this. It's a little distracting visually with all the cuts and editing and stuff like that, but the story, the action in it, it's unforgettable for me, and I'll always watch it when it's on. Number 9, Murder Mystery. This is a relatively new movie. Netflix, Adam Sandler. Jennifer Aniston. This might be like the fourth or fifth movie that those two have done together. They have fantastic chemistry. I know they're buddies in real life. This is a comfort streaming rewatch. My wife and I can turn this on at any point if we just need something on the TV that we can both get behind. It's light. It's funny as hell. It's super easy. This is the type of movie that you can put on in the background with friends over, or stuff that you can watch with your spouse together and you can both laugh at it. It's the relationship dynamics, the adventure together, the snarkiness of Sandler, her ability to kind of just get the best out of him throughout the movie is uncanny. I can never ever turn Murder Mystery off when it's on. It is absolute gold. Number 8, Tropic Thunder. The cast is outrageous in a good way. Stiller, Downey, Jack Black, Cruise in the best cameo I've ever seen in my life, McConaughey, Danny McBride. There's 10 others that I haven't even named that are in here. It is still wild that this movie exists. Every character is a rewatch magnet. Like, it hasn't dulled. It's sharpened. When I first saw this movie, I thought it sucked. I thought it was stupid. I didn't think it was very funny. I thought it had funny moments, but it wasn't very funny. Every time that I've watched it since, I have picked up something new every single time. I've probably watched it 100 times now. I pick up something new every single time that makes me laugh and that resonates with me, whether it's Bill Hader's character in it doing something, or Damian Cockburn, who is in another movie that we're going to mention soon. There is so many moments in this that are laugh out loud funny, and so many things that you just pick up on a second, third, fourth, fifth rewatch, let alone the 100th. So this movie was on all the time in college. It was something that my buddies and I could put behind us, really put on at any time in the last 15 years and just laugh about. This has not been done on the pod yet. This was going to be our inaugural episode. We had some technical difficulties because your boy, even though I've kind of sort of figured out how to podcast now, I'm still a newbie and kind of dumb. So we did a trial run with it, and I cannot wait until we do that one on the pod. What a movie. What a movie. And I'm going to get some pushback on that and some hate, because it doesn't, some people are huge fans. Other people are like, overrated. That movie kind of sucks. But trust me, the more you watch it, the more it becomes undeniable. I'll put it that way. Number 7, we're getting back to superheroes, guys. Batman Begins. I mentioned the athletic stuff before. Now, this is a lot lighter than a Troy is. It's not an epic in the traditional sense, but this is my introduction to Michael Caine as Alfred, and this is my introduction to Christian Bale as Batman, who, I don't give a shit what you say. This is the best Batman there has ever been and ever will be. No one else that has played that character can put a candle to this man. It's not even close. Plus, this is a gritty reset of that entire franchise that has now sparked a bunch of other resets that we didn't fucking ask for, we didn't need. And if this guy could have made 100 movies as Batman, I'd watch every single one. They've taken good actors and done the superhero thing, but they've never taken actors like Christian Bale and made them Batman. I love Michael Keaton. He's awesome. I love Val Kilmer. He's great. Clooney, obviously awesome actor, but not for a fucking Batman. You have to have a level of darkness and resilience in you that those guys could maybe tap into, but they can't tap into it in the way that this guy does. Liam Neeson's in this one as well. Ra's al Ghul, shout out. It's an origin story, which we're huge fans of. It feels grounded, not cute. It is rewatchable because it earns the darkness that comes with it. it's the first time that I've seen a superhero movie behave in that way. And, I'll never forget it. And anytime that it is on, I will watch it. I will go out of my way to watch it at least once a year. It's another one that I've seen, 100 plus times. Number 6. This might surprise some of you. Skyfall. Speaking of franchises, James Bond. I'm actually not a big James Bond franchise guy, but if Daniel Craig is James Bond, I'm in. I think he is, for my age group, that guy is James Bond. Not Pierce, hairy as fuck Brosnan. Not Roger Craig. Not Sean Connery. Those guys, they can, you know what? The older generations, you can have them. You can have them. If I want a secret agent who I believe is going to get shit done beyond cerebral and actually physically be able to do all the stunts and things that they're requiring of a James Bond to actually do, I'm gonna believe that Daniel Craig is capable of pulling that off. I don't believe any of the other guys can handle it in the same way. Now, Skyfall, similar to Batman Begins, is a little bit of an origin story because you get to go back to where everything all began for James. And you get to see a little bit of insight into his background, which you never get in any of these movies. You never get that with these. It's Bond at its most cinematic. You have Javier Bardem, who is proven to be an all-time great bad guy. Weird as shit in this movie, but also good. Strangest fucking wig I've ever seen on a guy, but it doesn't stop me from watching it, which is also another thing. You also get the beginnings of the Christoph Waltz stuff. You get Judi Dench, peak Judi Dench. It is incredible visually. It moves confidently. It is a vibes first rewatch. These Bond films aren't really I don't find them to be great thinkers, but I love the action in them, and very few people can exude cool with all the responsibility that comes with being Bond and keeping collected the way that Daniel Craig does. I find him fascinating. I think he's a perfect fit for that role. I'm bummed that he's not going to be it anymore. I watched all of his movies that he's been in. Anything else that he's in outside of Bond, I'm instantly interested in because he is James Bond. And he will always be my Bond, and I appreciate everything he did for the franchise. And on this list, Skyfall is my favorite of the Bond movies, so that's the one I've seen the most, and I'm putting that on at number 6. Top 5. These last 5 are special for a lot of reasons. Again, top 5 for me, the things that have been on in my house the most, or that I've seen the most. These are not just rewatchable. These are automatics in our house. I don't know if I don't know what to put on, and I've had a long day. If it's just something that I just want something that works, it's going to be one of these. Date night. A lot of you are like, date night? Oh, yeah, date night. Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Mark Wahlberg, Taraji P. Henson, Common, some dude who looks like the milkman. I never remember his fucking name. Leighton Meester. Golly, girl. Ray Liotta. Dude, it is a sneaky, studded cast. It is chaotic, but it's another one of these great movies that my wife and I have been watching together since college. It is insanely rewatchable for us because we've had countless dinners and movies and just put this on because it's something that we can both watch and both laugh at and, get behind a lot of the, we'll say, premise behind it, not necessarily being on the run together, but on, the pitfalls of relationship and some of the things that the quirks that the other partner has. And it's just, since we've had kids, it's mattered more and more and more, and it just gets better every time we watch it together. So it's a little sentimental for me in that respect. Number 5 on the list, date night. Number 4, the other guys. Now, similar to the last one where my wife and I have watched this movie hundreds of times. So have me and my buddies, me and my friends. It is jokes stacked on jokes. It's the kind of comedy where you can notice new lines on every rewatch because it's just got so fucking many of them. It's got a little bit of dumb comedy in it, but it's also another one where the cast is outrageous. You have an ensemble of ensembles. So your mains are Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, but you have Eva Mendes, you have Michael Keaton, you have a lot of guys that you'll notice from like SNL and other, comedy staples that have popped in and out. You'll have one of the Damon brothers. You'll have Rob Riggle. I mean, geez, dude, there's so many people in this. And it is The Rock, Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God, those two in the very beginning of this thing. Like every time there's something new that you notice. Oh, the sex that we have with women and we don't want to, but we have to. That's for you guys. Stupid shit like that. It is just stuff that always has lines. My friends and I, even my wife and I, will just use them with each other all the time. So many inside jokes because of this movie. Desk Pops, September 08. Just so many in there, and an unforgettable movie. It's on all the time in here. Number 3, Superbad. Now, more of a friends than a family movie, but it hits so hard, especially when this came out. It was the very end of high school and the beginning of college, and we're seeing this together, my friends and I, all around the same age, a movie about people that are our age. And it's Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Seth Rogen, Bill Hader, Emma Stone before she's Emma Stone. Just a lot of, it's a time capsule for sure, but lines that are funny as hell. They're still honest. It's a movie that has aged pretty damn well. The McLovin piece of this, again, like, when you have a movie that has countless like t-shirts and stuff where you can recognize certain slogans and certain pictures and be like, I know that movie. The McLovin ID, things like that. It's a staple. It's a classic because of when this movie came out and how many times my friends and I had watched it and just laughed together with it. It just makes the list. It's been on there really high for a really long time. I don't watch it nearly as much in the last few years, but it is something that will be on the pod at some point. It's awesome. I'll never not like that movie. Number 2, The Dark Knight. The only reason it's not number 1 is I'll tell you when I get to number 1. Christian Bale. I don't have to elaborate on him anymore than I already did with Batman Begins. Heath Ledger, greatest villain that we've ever seen caught on film. Aaron Eckhart's great. Gary Oldman, great. There are countless other actors in here that do a really good job. It is surviving one of the greatest flops of all time in that recast of Rachel. Fucking Maggie Gyllenhaal tried her damnedest to ruin this movie for us. You guys know how I feel about her. I cannot stand that she's in this movie. She freaking ruins it for me. I'm sorry. Bruce, the Bruce that I know, would never fight over that. Okay? I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Ledger's performance never fades. It intensifies over time. It has spurned cultural things, good and bad, spawned more rewatches and more remakes of that character than you ever predicted. It's a generational rewatch. It is a Nolan film that is really perfectly made. We've done that one on the pod. It was probably our longest pod that we've had. It was almost 3 hours. It was perfect. And I really don't have any notes other than the Rachel stuff. I can't stand Rachel. She should have blown up earlier in the movie. Get him a new girlfriend. But Dark Knight, seen it, will never not watch it at least like 3 or 4 times a year. Number 1, this might shock some of you. I don't know that many people have this number 1 on their list. This is an absolute pure comfort watch. This is my wife and I's favorite movie to watch together. It's why it's number 1 and not number 2 or, elsewhere. It's Couples Retreat. It is a movie with Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman, Kristen Bell, Jon Favreau, Charlotte from Sex and the City. I forget her name always. I cannot tell you how many times my wife and I have watched this movie together. We know it inside and out. It is zero pressure, maximum familiarity to us. It's a movie that when we put it on, and I don't want to think, it's perfect. It's got the right amount of relationship tension, a great cast, awesome lines. It's just such a fun movie. Plus, they take you to like an awesome setting, man. I mean, it's really fun to be a part of every single time we do it. I would say my wife and I probably watch it 5-6 times a year. Love that movie. That's going to come in at number 1 for me. Again, sentimental more than anything else. It's the movie that my wife and I watch together the most. And I got to put it number 1 on the list for that reason. So that's the list, you guys. Again, what I realized putting this together is rewatchability. It's not about greatness. It's about reliability. These movies never let me down. Honestly, that's why they matter to me. You know, the list is absolutely going to change over time. Some movies are going to climb. Some movies are going to completely fall out. And you can probably guess which ones will do that. But that's the fun of it. That's the fun of doing something like this. Rewatch lists evolve as you do as a person. And there's going to be more movies, hopefully, that come that really just fucking steal my attention away. And if you're listening and mentally building your own list right now, that's kind of the goal of something like this. That's the whole point of the night shift. Make you think about stuff that really fucking matters to you. We're not really chasing perfection. We're chasing movies that stick with us. And this was a really fun one for me to do. So I don't do solo pods very often, never on the night shift. So we'll see how this one ends up panning out. But I appreciate you guys joining on this one. That's a wrap. If you like the episode, or even if the list made you mad, make sure that you subscribe to the House Cats Podcast Network. Subscribe to the Night Shift podcast wherever you listen or watch. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, full videos on YouTube if you want to watch the video stuff. And if you want more movie breakdowns, just check out everything that we've got on the Night Shift. If you need more than that, we've got other shows on sports, TV, business, all under the same House Cats podcast umbrella. So thank you for hanging out with us. Night Shift is clocking.